Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, to the HCast episode 18. We have been flying with these streams, these panels. In fact, they were called this a little bit. Well, we were doing them before they were called the HCast. But anyway, I digress. How are we all doing, ladies and gents in the chat? I hope you're all well. We've got such a big show to cover today. Loads of topics to kind of get through. Some good, some bad, some hilarious, some out there that no one was really expecting. It's a bit all over the place. Before we dive into any and all of the topics, just want to say, hey, if you want to support the show or the channel in general, we've got memberships open. And after the stream on Thursdays, there is a members only stream. So you get access to like a chilled stream, just me, you guys hanging out, chilling out, shooting the breeze, ask me anything, that sort of stuff. But also just, you get one super chat free a month, etc. There's loads of stuff. So become a member today. That would be gracias. Si, senor. Thank you very much. Outside of that, super chats are really good. You want to join in the topic of conversation. At the end of each segment, we will cover the super chats, get you guys involved. You can talk about the topic or just anything you want. So super chats are a really good way. But also in the description box, there's a link to the second channel, Mistakes Reviews Live Archives, where all of these, the best bits get chopped up, like you're a samurai. That's probably racist to some people, I'm sure, these days. Cultural appropriation. And then they get put over there as well on that channel. So I digress a little bit there. But anyway, big stream. Culture, Tom, Paulie, how are we all doing? I was gonna say ladies and gents. How are we all doing, guys?
I'm great. I'm here and it's like in the afternoon and I made it to the afternoon, so I'm good.
Are you assuming my gender, sir?
Oh boy.
I am. Sorry. I assumed you're a woman, so Tom, just
Sometimes.
Can you define woman?
Oh boy.
Yeah, adult human female, wasn't it? That was what that was.
Next, they'll be asking, how do you know how to define a female?
Oh, goodness me. This is very true. How are we all? Are we good, ladies?
Doing the best I can, considering it's been a nutty week already and it's only Tuesday.
Yeah. It's been, it feels, God, this week is dragging. This week is, I choose, the fact that you said it, I'm like, God, Tuesday, goodness me. I just want the weekend to come around already. Absolutely dragging its heels this week. Paulie, you've not said anything, mate, and your camera's off. Ridiculous, good sir.
Yeah.
Some of that.
Well, yeah, I don't know if we're on Midnight's Edge After Dark or if this is your show, so I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
Oh boy.
For what? What? What are you on about?
Is there beef here?
I have no idea. I'm very confused.
I'm more confused. What the heck?
I think everyone's a bit confused. All right, Paulie.
Okay.
What the fuck did I do to you?
I have no idea. We'll put Paulie in timeout so he can explain in the private chat because I've got no idea and I'm not dealing with that right now. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so everyone's channels are down below in the description box. Even Paulie's, even though he is in timeout at the moment because I have no idea what he's talking about. But anyway, please do hit subscribe to their channels if you like anything that they've got to say or you like their content, whatever. Head on over there. That would be grand. That would be very, very good. So, ladies and gents of the panel and obviously the chat as well, because this, I said we've got some sort of bad stuff to cover as well at the start, and I've done a video on it today, but I want to cover it just as a group as well. Unfortunately, on Friday, I'm pretty certain it was Friday, we had the tragic news that Lance Reddick had passed, and it is tragic. I mean, this is absolutely came out of nowhere. Supposedly natural causes. That's the official statement that was released. It's a shame, and it came out of nowhere. I watched Shazam, and I remember coming out of the theater and checking Twitter to be like, I was going to do my normal, I've just, first reactions kind of thing. And it came up there and I was like, oh, wow, what? This is, what? You just so unexpected. And I don't normally cover these things, but I really like is the wrong word. I really appreciate everyone's comments surrounding this who, worked with them closely recently. Keanu Reeves, Chad Stahelski, and also Lionsgate as a studio as well. Very real, very humble, just very normal, nice statements that they made surrounding how much they missed him. So I think, guys, first and foremost, culture, were you aware of this? Because I brought this up a few times now, and loads of people are like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah. When I heard about it, I think I was live on stream on Friday and pretty bummed out. I'm a huge John Wick fan. His performances outside of John Wick have always been stellar. I mean, he's been in lots of television programs all the way back to The Wire, and I just always thought he was great. He played in Fringe, I believe he played Boyles. I mean, there was a bunch of there's a bunch of things that he's done in the past, and I've always thought he was a stellar actor. Very much a surprise found in his home, no longer with us, and yeah, very, very difficult to believe. A lot of people passing at very young ages recently, and that's even more.
Yeah, I mean, he was 60, but he was in great shape.
Yeah.
It wasn't, again, genuinely just a pretty sudden, apparently natural causes death. Tom, anything to sort of throw
shocking and tragic? Too young to go like that. It's sad to hear, and he was a heck of an actor, great character actor,
amazing actor, truly, amazing actor, actually.
Again, more so just shocking because of his age, and nothing more than natural causes really kind of makes you go, well, that doesn't make no sense. But all right, so hopefully we learn a little bit more in that respect. But yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet premiere, I got to imagine, for Keanu and the crew, considering.
Yeah, well, so yeah, I mean, you say, hopefully we learn more. Obviously, if the family don't want to reveal anything,
well, that's true. But I mean,
respect their wishes, I guess. And
I just can't believe that it would just be something natural. That's my point. Like, it's just like, somebody that young.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Now the statements being made, again, just very, very sincere. Super, super sincere. I think whenever I play this, I always have an issue with audio, so I'm not going to try and play them, but I'm going to read them out to you all. But Keanu was asked about it, and he just said, Lance was a beautiful person, a special artist, a man of grace and dignity, and such a passion for his craft. And to have the chance to work with him over 10 years and 4 films is something that is very special to me, and it fucking sucks he's not here. And Chad Stahelski's commentary, exactly the same in terms of the tone. And he said, when you have someone so close pass so suddenly, it's always tricky. He was a great man, a great human, and we're all just fortunate enough to have spent the last 10 years of our lives working with him. He was a mentor, a friend, a great human being. And I think the best way to help remember him and celebrate him is never forgetting how much he touched us. So that, again, what that said to me about, in all of this, what that said to me was how, smashing the mic, these two individuals are very much just real people. Because normally you'd ask anyone anything outside of these kind of people in Hollywood, and it would be this narcissistic self-reflection, be like, oh, well, I feel bad and I'm this and I'm that. It's like, no, this guy was amazing, etc., etc., etc. Very much all on him, focus on him. And this is the only reason realistically why I'm covering this. And it was the same reason why I made the video on it, is because it goes to show that these are two people. Keanu is Hollywood's nice guy. And then you've got Chad Stahelski, a guy who's come up, from being stunt coordinator and things like that. Just very real people, not engulfed in the narcissism of Hollywood. And it's just really nice to see. I don't know if you guys have anything to sort of add to that, or whether you picked up on any of that. To me, it was very much,
I didn't get to see the video, so yeah.
Well, I've read it out, I guess. It was more, they didn't put anything on themselves. It wasn't about them and they're upset, etc. It was about how good, to remember Lance more specifically. Whereas narcissism and these people in Hollywood normally,
Well, that usually is the overwhelming thing that happens, is that level of narcissism and the self-insertion into the tragedy, and the creation of a victimization around somebody else's passing, which really always bothers me. But what an extraordinary actor and talent. And I guess, being able for them to just say that and be and just levy it all upon him, heap it all upon him. That's really important, and not have it reflect so much at them. Again, they did an excellent job of their descriptors as you read them out. So, I like I said, it sucks that he's not going to be there, and it does throw into question whether or not they'll be able to make a follow-up film.
Well, I think they will be able to. They'll just, obviously we don't know exactly how his character is handled. In this movie, we don't know, but I wouldn't imagine this will stop them making a fifth, because that's their plan apparently, is to make a fifth and then be done with John Wick proper. Allegedly, that's the sort of rumor that's floating around. There was a plan to make one more, supposedly. Anyway,
don't think I like that rumor.
No, why not? You don't want another one? I'm game for John Wick.
I know. I'm like, as many as he can carefully place out there where he doesn't look too frail. I don't want him to go full, Harrison Ford, eventually, but I want to see a lot of these films. This is supposedly the combination of two different films. That's why we're getting a 3-hour film that's just high octane the whole way through. So, if they can deliver this in that way, with that powerful, of a reaction from the audience. And I'm sure you've heard a lot of audience reaction, Nate, because the first screening was in the UK. So, there's a lot of people that have seen this, and then people who saw it at South by Southwest can't stop raving about it. I'm stoked. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see it. And so the fact that this, Lance will never return is kind of heartbreaking. And I hope they did him justice in the film itself. I'm very much looking forward to this film this weekend. I think I have a preview show on Thursday I'm going to. So
well, I think it's sad, because they're supposedly making the Continental as well, which I don't know how early that was set on, in terms of a prequel, when it was set, but I can't remember if he was a part of that, but obviously that was the HBO. I think it was an HBO series, like a TV series thing.
They would really have to retool it if they did that.
Yes. Well, yeah, absolutely. So that being said, we'll sort of shuffle on again. Just wanted to address that, because I think, when these things happen, good to, when there's nice stuff to sort of talk about with respect to obviously a tragedy, I think it's worth to, to comment on. So we did have a super sticker from Mr. Al Humphreys for £5. Thank you so much.
I think so,
my dude. Really, really do appreciate that. Mucho gracias. And we do have Nick. How are you doing, good sir?
Doing good. Good to see you guys. Just got finished up with some work stuff and just got freed up and jumped on in.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Excellent stuff. Good. So we lose one, we gain one. There you go, I guess.
Who'd you? Oh, Paulie's not. Where's Paulie at?
I don't know. I'm still getting to the bottom of exactly what happened. So we'll get there eventually, I guess. Anyway, Nick is from Echo Base Network. Everyone, ladies and gents in the chat, again, you want to check out everyone's channels. Links in the description box. Please do go ahead. And check them out. Also, please do give the video a big thumbs up and share it out as well. That'd be really, really good. Would appreciate that. Mucho gracias. So, the big news. Victoria Alonso exited, not fired. We don't know if she's been fired yet, ladies and gents. And this is important. Everyone doing videos saying she's fired. We don't know if she's fired. All right, we have no confirmation. There's no statement.
She's Schrodinger's Victoria Alonso at this moment in time.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know whether she's been fired. So don't. If anyone's saying we don't have any confirmation on anything here. So all the headlines go, she's fired. Until we have a statement, and we may never know. We literally may never have an idea of what's happened. But this happened yesterday, and I did a video on it, and I was like, Alonso is Gonzo, which I thought was
That's pretty good, actually. I wish I'd have thought of that.
Yeah. Jerk.
I loved it. Anyway, but and I was like, I don't think a lot of people are going to know who she is and just how shocking this actually is that she's gone. She's with Marvel for 17 years. Marvel Studios, basically from when they're above a Mercedes dealership to then being acquired by Disney. She's like big at Marvel, very, very big at Marvel. She got promoted to president of post-production and VFX and animation. She's executive producer on Avengers Endgame, loads and loads and loads of stuff, right? This is huge that she's gone. Huge that she's gone. And there's no actual official statement anywhere. Marvel haven't come out and said anything. It was just this. It was just the Hollywood Reporter gave an exclusive saying Victoria Alonso, the long-time and high-profile Marvel Studios executive whose time with the company dates back to the first Iron Man, has left the studio. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. The reasons for the exit are unclear, but she parted ways with Marvel on Friday, sources say. That's it. That's the statement. Now, she's a pretty controversial figure at Hollywood in Marvel Studios. She basically she was influential in getting Bob Chapek to wade in with Florida Man, Ron DeSantis, and that whole situation, which is now epically fucked Disney over. Excuse the language, but there's absolutely no other way of putting it. It is epically fucked Disney over. She also made ridiculously stupid comments about X-Men. There's a lot of women in that team, so that's quite outdated, so we might change that. She is like queen of the woke at Marvel.
Yes.
But she's only as bad as what Kevin Feige allows. So when we say that she's woke, she still answers to someone, which is Kevin Feige. So, you know, yes, I believe this is Marvel finding their fall guy, but don't make no mistakes that the rot is still within Marvel because she answered to someone. But anyway, I've spoken enough. What do you guys think? All right, Tom, I know you got some stuff to say here.
I was gonna say, if you want to let these guys go first, then I can give you my input on what I've heard anyway.
Yeah, we'll do that then. Go on then.
Okay, I'll fire off. I had so many comments in the video that I did on the subject matter and my initial reactions, and we don't know ultimately that she's been fired, but nobody ever's fired in Hollywood. I would still assert that she had been fired. This is not the way you go out. You don't go out on a Friday like that. So I'm going to continue to say that was the most likely thing. Now, in Hollywood, you are exiting. You're not fired. You're moving on to pursue other opportunities. It is changing path. There's a whole lot of other ways to say you've been fired, and that's one of the courtesies that you're granted, especially at these levels. But the reason she was let go and the reason she became the fall guy per se was basically this. In 2021, she was put in a position that I think is absolutely ridiculous. President of physical and post-production, visual effects, animation production, all of that. And what have we been complaining about for the last few years, in particular with Marvel? Everything looks like dog shit. So, visually.
Also, it's only right. Things have looked like dog shit since Avengers Endgame, right? You've only got to think about
exactly
the Hulk Buster armor and stuff like that. However, one of the interesting things that's come out only in the last few years is the prevalence of VFX artists shitting all over Marvel.
Yeah.
Now, that's new. VFX has always looked crap with Marvel because they have. Iron Man looks amazing still.
Oh, it still does, yeah.
Progressively, as the years went on, it started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And Endgame was awful VFX in certain parts. But no one came out and shat all over Marvel that was working for them.
Right.
And that has come out a lot recently in the last few years.
And the common denominator there is something that I, had also seen is that she was a C word and a bully. And
we're going to cover that as well.
And very difficult to, to work with, but the common denominator again is her. All right. It's like the things line up. This lady is a nightmare. things go very far sideways, and it got worse. And not only that, she was in animation too. She was doing more. Don't let that title fool you. She was doing more holistically across the board than just the stuff inside of Marvel Studios. So she is, like I said, this and a lot of people in the comments for my video, and I'm gonna quote that finally and say, "Good riddance to bad rubbish." Right.
Well, so this is what you're referring to is Chris Lee of what was it, New York, New York Mag. Came out and said, so many VFX sources have told me Victoria Alonso was singularly responsible for Marvel's toxic work environment, a kingmaker who rewarded unquestioning fealty with an avalanche of work, but who also maintained the blacklist that kept VFX pros wild-eyed with fear. She held a crazy amount of power, bigfooting all major creative decisions on Marvel movies and shows. Kevin Feige and Victoria Alonso personally approve every single shot, all the visual effects work, which is usually the job of a director or a showrunner, one tech told Chris Lee. The main one that everyone's quite scared of is Victoria Alonso, another tech said. If she likes you, you're going to get work and you're going to move up in the industry. If you have pissed her off in any way, you're going to get frozen out. So that's what you're referring to. Madness. And I can believe it, because again, common denominator, it's only since when she's been taken over that these the VFX artists have come out and said, Marvel is awful.
Think about how many articles have come out since 2021 about the MCU and the VFX situation, right? And the fact that it's a nightmare to work specifically for the MCU, not so much Disney, although we did hear some grumblings about Disney as an overall thing. And we know Disney doesn't like to pay anybody. But wow, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to leave room for somebody else to talk there, but she is the centerpiece there. It's very strange. Nick, what do you think, bud?
Bye Bia. Man, I'm so glad that this chick is gone. Ever since I heard the statement of the X-Men statement, like there's women involved, like she doesn't even understand the term X-Men. She shouldn't be involved in anything Marvel ever at all. I don't even know how she even got this job. But yeah, I'm glad she's gone. The one thing I'm worried about is I don't know how far they are into the X-Men 97 and how
apparently
much
it's ready to go, I think.
So I'm guessing she probably had a lot of involvement with that.
She's an executive producer on them,
yeah. So that makes me super nervous for that show because the X-Men animated series, along with the Spider-Man animated series and the Batman animated series back in the 90s, good God, man, I love those cartoons. I could still watch them today.
I used to have X-Men, the animated series, opening theme tune as my ringtone.
Oh, really? Yeah, I love it.
It was so good.
I absolutely love those shows, and so when I heard that they were doing X-Men 97, man, I was pumped. But now, with knowing that was involved in it, like it kind of makes me nervous for that show now, because she was a woke mess. Again, I don't know how she even got this job. She shouldn't have been allowed anywhere near Marvel. She shouldn't be anywhere allowed any established IP ever again in Hollywood. But she's gone. Good riddance to her. And I hope she doesn't I hope nobody hires her for any other major IP that there's a big, huge fan base for, because she'll probably just destroy that and the work environment for them as well.
Yeah. Well, all right, Tom, let's get you in here now. Everyone's sort of.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of what you guys have seen here is a lot of pretty much in line with what I've heard, is that she's kind of been given this position a year and a half ago, roughly. Some are kind of wondering if she wasn't given it to be set up to fail in this instance, because she was given this position at a time when Marvel started on their downward trend. And the last few movies, as we know, especially, have had issues with reshoots. And we've had a lot of effects houses complaining about how Marvel's causing them to work overtime and extra at the end of their, and having little time to get it done, and especially like recently heard, with the reshoots on Ant-Man, was a big point of contention, I guess. And with that movie flopping the way it did, with Black Panther really underperforming and Thor: Love and Thunder performing middling to less than stellar, I think that's, from what I've been hearing, kind of the major point of what this is probably about. Whether she walked, whether she was fired, whether she's still there. You're right, Nate. No one knows for sure, but from people who are in the know, I've heard she is gone. And the main reasons were that, and it didn't help with her toxicity and her political bullshit, because I don't think that's a coincidence that here we are, 3 weeks out now from when DeSantis pulled the Reedy Creek, what is it, Reedy Creek deal?
Yep, Reedy Creek.
So I don't think any of this stuff is coincidental. I think she took the brunt of it. I think Kevin Feige put her in that position to either fly or fail, and she clearly failed. Because you're right, she's been a part of this since before Iron Man, right? Like she was one of the original founding fathers of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
yeah,
this is a big shock to a lot of people in Hollywood, and I wonder if she's basically taken the bullet for the last few failures. And I mean, if it's going this high up, that means there's a lot of people on both sides of Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar who are probably not safe at this point. So we never know. And we know there's going to be a lot of firings. So it'll be interesting to see how this comes out. And we may, like you said, Nate, we may never know what happened. Because here's another thing that was brought to my attention. When you sign up with Disney, one of these big deals, you end up signing away your biography rights to them.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So they get to control your narrative.
Interesting.
So
and we also know she has nothing
on,
lined up either. So yeah.
So even later on in life, like in their 20, 30 years, when somebody's retired, they can't talk about their experience and the ins and outs of what went on while they were working at Disney.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's
freaking corporate cult.
Well, I mean, it extends for some period of time. It's not forever, but no, it's that is a seemingly very standard in the way Disney does things. There are some people that are former Imagineers that can't actually write their memoirs the way they want to yet, that have left the company. So yeah, everything that they would write would have to go through approval.
So bizarre. But again, guys, make no mistake, this doesn't mean that the rot is removed from Marvel. It's not. This doesn't mean the rot's removed from Marvel.
No.
You gotta remember, she was there from the start. She only had control over, from what we know officially, a very small portion of Marvel. And everything, the say-so, goes from Kevin Feige, and then, of course, Bob Iger as well, right? So these are the real... And we know Bob Iger's position on all of this stuff anyway. So people tend to fool themselves into thinking, things are going to get better now. She was there since before Iron Man. So she is a problem. Make no mistake. She absolutely is a problem. But it'll be interesting to see whether the other people that are undoubtedly still a part of the problem, because they are, Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, are still problems. And it's like people have short-term memory loss. It's like they forget what these people have publicly said. Bob Iger came out when he took over from Chapek and said, "Oh yeah, no, we're headstrong, still doing this stuff. Like we are absolutely, we're committed to doing this. We're committed to this representation stuff. We are still going full steam." And Kevin Feige has come out and said very, very similar rhetoric. But it's whether they now use this, Victoria Alonso's exit, as their fall guy and go, well, what we're going to do now is to save face, to do a U-turn. That's the only, and obviously they still firmly believe all the rhetoric that they've spoken about before. They've doubled down on it, tripled down on it, whatever. But the one hope here is that they use this, her exit, their fall guy, so to speak, again, the title of this stream itself, and they use that as a pivot point in the business structure, which they could do. That's the potential. That's the potentially good stuff here. I don't know if anyone has anything to say on that.
No, I think you're right. I mean, and that's something I mentioned today in my extended bonus time 6-minute daily, which I do a little bit longer show on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But um, I strongly suspect that this is part of a lot of the larger executive heads that really have do nothing jobs that are part of this 4,000, the initial 4,000. They're getting rid of the 7,000 and people they're letting
Mm.
go. I think you're going to see a lot of more of those folks like HR and diversity managers and all this other crap. I think you're going to see a lot of that go by the wayside because they make no money, and that's the problem. I mean, even Iger had to admit in his recent statements, and he's going to get roasted at this shareholders meeting that's coming up. But he had to absolutely admit that they needed to focus more on profit for a change. So we'll have to see how that fares, right?
Mm.
So.
Yeah. Nick.
No, I agree with you also, and I've been saying the same thing about Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, and she's gone. That doesn't mean the rot's gone from Lucasfilm. There's a whole lot more people there that have a lot of blame that they could take for the state of Star Wars. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Tom.
No, I think that's a good take. And again, until we learn more, if we ever learn more, I think there's not much that can be said other than speculation at this point. And again, I want to believe that this is a move in the right direction, but like you said, the rot is set in, right? So, I mean, it's one of those things where we'll have to see who else loses their job and how they adjust to this. Going forward. Is it going to be more of, oh no, because Bob Iger said that the problem is we need to concentrate on quality, not quantity, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. But that's not the problem, right?
In fairness, in fairness, that should have always been the fucking mission, right?
Exactly.
Always been the mission. Suddenly they're like, Bob Iger, oh, good man, Bob Iger, wow, well done. What a profound step. It's a fucking profound statement to be like, yeah, we're going to focus on quality. You should be anyway. What are you doing? Why did your quality control just go out the window? Like, that's an indictment straight away of how you're running your overall business. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Absolute morons. I literally can't get over how anyone was clapping like a seal when he said stuff like that. It's like, yeah. Why weren't you? That's all I can think of. Like, why weren't you? It's absolutely insane to me.
I mean, when your job is basically QC, and the QC is what's out of control the most when it comes to the price of the film. And I mean, we were hearing some rumors that some of these reshoots were costing quite a bit. Right. And that's
because they were reshooting, right? The thing is that like Ant-Man, they were reshooting in January. In January, they were reshooting Ant-Man.
Could you imagine doing it that tight in the old days when you had to do it on film?
You couldn't.
Yeah.
How would you even get them out there that quick? You just wouldn't be able to.
Well, Tom and I were talking about like when they first released Star Trek, the motion picture, the first Star Trek film out there, there was wet prints being run through projectors back then. Yeah. So I mean, that's where you'd be at. You can't get that deep into. You got to get gold with your product way ahead of time. Delivery schedules and all that way back then. Now you just download it, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah,
this seems to be a trend in Hollywood. Seems to be all this reshoots, stuff's not working out, last minute, everything's last minute. It's like, what are these people doing over there?
Well, a lot of it's like committee filmmaking, isn't it? Too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. So everyone has to have their say. Everyone's got their ear into it. And then
Indiana Jones is a good example.
Yeah, but that results in stuff at the very last minute being done, put in there that has to be corrected and stuff. And then, well, yeah, the end result is an absolute shit show right up until the wire. It's just so, I mean, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And I was speaking to, I can't remember who I was speaking to. It might have been my sports therapist. But we were talking about film and stuff. And it's fascinating. I spoke about this actually on Sunday's stream. The Chilled stream was that how it's amazing, isn't it? How you know, when a studio doesn't believe in a product, right? Like Alien, for instance, right? 20th Century Fox didn't believe in Alien. That was a B movie, a C movie to them, right? And they just gave it out. Just go make this film, whatever. You got funding, just go make the film. And they had a very hands-off approach. Incredible cult classic, right? And then they're like, us makes, we got to get involved. It made money. We got to get involved. You know, got to get in there, stick our oar in. And it's amazing, isn't it, when a studio gets their hands off a product and they leave the filmmakers to, like, obviously it's a bit different when you're dealing with a large franchise, interconnected nature. But when they get their hands off a fucking product and they just leave people, all the cooks out the kitchen, they just approve it and go, yeah, that's a good idea, just go make it. And you strike gold, generally speaking. There's so many examples of that.
I'll give you one, a recent one. Joker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. There are so many examples of this.
But you're about to see
where
the
they
meddling.
don't believe in it and they just go make it. We'll give you the budget, go make it. And we believe it will make enough money back. That's what they think, and they go whatever then.
Well, but real quick, now imagine that we're about to see a flop in the part 2 of the Joker, right, with Lady Gaga, where you're going to have musical sequences somewhere along the way. You know, I imagine you have studio interference or studio involvement in that film, and a big budget. It's not 55 million anymore, and I see a car crash coming. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, this
major
is
car crash.
But going back to Marvel and Victoria Alonso and their product, they've got way too many cooks in the kitchen. Way too many cooks in the kitchen. Too many people sticking their oar in at the last minute, and it's just producing all this crap. Absolute crap. Bad. Tom, you've not said anything for a little while. Let's get you in.
Well, as far as like the studio interference stuff, I mean, it could come from many different places. It can come from, the big offices up because they recently read somewhere that kids are really into dingle hoppers this week. So they go, make sure you put dingle hoppers in this movie. And it's like, well, this movie wasn't constructed in a way that dingle hoppers will fit in. I don't care. Put them in there. But it's a period piece. Dingle hoppers didn't exist, but I don't give a shit. Put them in there. You get stuff like that all the time. Some of the most famous ones are like, when Steven Spielberg had to interfere with a studio note for Back to the Future because Ned Tannen, the head of the studio at the time, didn't like the title Back to the Future. So he told them that the name of the movie should be Space Boy from Mars, so it could go with the comic book that the kid sees when Marty McFly bursts into the door. And Robert Zemeckis goes to Spielberg and he's like, how the frick do I tell the head of the studio that this cannot be the name of our movie? Right? Like, we've all kind of agreed. Back to the Future makes sense. It rolls off the tongue. He's like, look, I'll take care of this. So Spielberg sent a note back to Ned saying, we all had a great laugh. Thanks for the joke. Never heard another word from Ned again.
Embarrassed them into submission, basically.
Yeah. So if you're not lucky enough to have a Spielberg on your set to kind of run interference, you have no idea what you're dealing with when it comes to some of these upper, and that's where Alonso comes in. She was probably somebody who, and these guys don't seem to understand. And this is what, the few people I talked to in like, that work in special effects would say is like, they got to build these models. It takes time to build all the stuff that goes into them. Then you got to actually animate it. Then you go through the grading and all the coloring and the lighting and the this and the that and all these steps, plus have to render it out.
Yep.
And that's another reason why most movies aren't done in true 4K yet, is because it still takes quite a long time to render out these special effects. So they're still only done in 2K. And even then they're still like literally like what Culture said, running wet prints back in the day. Well, you literally have somebody like emailing them at the last moment before the movie gets sent out digitally to theaters with the last shot because Victoria Alonso decided to change one thing at the last minute. But then again, like you said, that's just something we've heard previously with Feige too. So she's not the only one, and it's going to depend on whether or not they learn higher up what the bigger problem is here with Marvel, and I don't know if they're going to do that in time.
I feel like
I don't think they will.
I feel like this conversation's making me think of the current Mandalorian with Baby Yoda being back in season 3.
true.
It's like he leaves with Luke, and then Baby Yoda, he's selling, the merch is selling. We got to get him back in there, put him back in there, and then they cram in an episode and figure out a way to like force him back in there. So now they're back together in season 3.
Yeah, no, you're right. Going back to and this ties into what you just said as well, Nick. So going back to what you just said, Tom, about the Steven Spielberg comment, it's interesting now. These studios, for these big properties, they don't hire anyone like Steven Spielberg. No one with that much weight behind them goes anywhere near these projects. Whether they choose not to or they're not approached, who knows? But these are all just first-time filmmakers, generally speaking, pretty, much nobodies. Anyone who was pretty big has all exited due to creative differences. All of them. You name someone that was a really, really, really big director, before that came into this to do a Marvel film. I can't think of any. I could be wrong, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Just in the early phases.
Yeah,
Just like with Favreau.
When they were good.
Yeah, what's his face who did
like
Thor?
Director, is he?
No, but Kenneth Branagh was at that time. Joe Johnston was a veteran at that time. Well, even Favreau was still a veteran at that time. He had done, stuff like Zathura and other things that were pretty big movies.
And he just did one for Disney, which is why he got, that impressed the folks over at Marvel Paramount at the time. That got him in there in the door. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, then, but that still bleeds into what I said, I guess, then, because as the time went on and they started to streamline their sort of.
But otherwise, Sam Raimi is the only one. Sanders, right? Yeah, sorry.
Well, no, but I get you. But again, he hadn't done. What was the last movie he did before that? I mean, obviously, he's still a big director, but. Not as much weight as a Spielberg or anyone.
He'd been
like
doing
that.
more producing the last few years than anything, because he'd had a few shows that he was producing. He had produced a few movies that came out. I mean, it's a good question. I mean, at the time, to me, I felt like there had to be something they were leading up to bringing Raimi in because of the whole Spider-Man thing happening at the same time. It was like, what are we going to see in the future? Is he going to take over the Spider-Man movies or what? But yeah.
I reckon that's how they lured him in. And then they just were like, nah, no worries. See you later. But anyway, interesting. The rot's not gone. Make no mistake, ladies and gents. The rot is not gone from Marvel. But I've just got to say, we've got 500 people here, but we don't even have 200 likes. Ladies and gents, please do hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way to helping out the stream. If you've enjoyed this so far, that also helps YouTube tell you that you like it as well. So they'll sort of tell you another one's going on and stuff like this. Generally speaking, it can help. So please do hit that thumbs up button. Let's at least get it to 300, please. And we do have, we've got a new member. Ben Lowry became a member, so thank you so much, my dude. Do appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, super chats, memberships, members get a members only stream on a Thursday right after the HCast live stream. So become a member, you can have access to that. There's lots of benefits with it as well. We also got a super chat from Teague for $2. Says Metropolis or Blade Runner, which influenced more?
Metropolis.
Which influenced what more?
I would have to say Metropolis too. Yeah,
I think
I think afterwards
influence pop culture or
filmmakers,
filmmaking.
I think simply just because Metropolis influenced other things going forward.
Yeah.
Way more than Blade Runner did. Blade Runner was almost kind of influenced by Metropolis, if you think about it. So, kind of like in a weird way. So, in that respect, I guess you always got to give it to the one that came first. Sadly, very few times can I say that the copycat or the one that came after is more famous. The only times I could think of that is something like John Carter of Mars has kind of been buried by a lot of the things that copied it. For instance, like Star Wars to Superman, for instance. Other than that,
it's like comparing Chewbacca and Ewoks. what
Maybe
you're
com-
looking for, you know.
Yeah, or Zorro to Batman, perhaps,
Yeah.
because like you can definitely see a lot of Zorro in Batman, but like more people know who Batman is than Zorro. So yeah, now anyway.
Well, I mean,
No,
and then you'd have to go back to, the Shroud and all those other things. But like I said, I really, I think that's definitely Metropolis. And again, probably because it was more influential to more people than, Blade Runner was initially.
True.
Yeah.
Very, 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 very true. So as you can see, ladies and gents, at the end of each topic, we cover super chats. You can steer the conversation in any direction you want, but it also goes some way to helping support the channel and the show itself. So cheers in advance.
Yay. Just don't steer us near an iceberg.
Yeah, please don't do that. So we've got a bit more Marvel news. And this is all about Blade. Blade is a shit show. It has been for a little
It
while.
has been forever.
Well, yeah, absolutely it has. You've got two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali on board. You binned off Wesley Snipes because he was too old. I mean, Mahershala Ali is going to be he's like 50 odd now. Like, for goodness sake, he's going to.
Did you ever hear what happened with Wesley?
No, no, dude.
Oh, okay. We must never have crossed paths on that story because I knew one of the guys who would have been on the writing team had Wesley Snipes got the role. And they were going back and forth for a while till Wesley just basically threw his hands up in the air and walked away. And that's the day after that happened is when they announced Mahershala Ali at that Marvel event. But yeah, basically he wanted to be a part of it. He was even willing to be there just to pass the mantle on to Blade's daughter because that was kind of what it seemed like was going to happen. And then them picking him, and especially considering he's not that much younger than Wesley, that really ticked him off. So basically he's kind of written off Marvel altogether. That's why when people are like, oh, there's a Blade, Wesley Snipes Blade cameo in Doctor Strange, I'm like, bullshit. Sorry, excuse my French, but I'm like, ain't no way he's going near that with a 10-foot pole after the way they treated him from what I heard. So again, all rumors, take with a grain of salt, but they were in heavy negotiations until one moment they weren't, because I guess Disney really wanted him to take on the Whistler role, but he's like, no, I want to play Blade. And
why would you not bring him back as Blade? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, especially if your movie's going to be a pass of the torch film straight away anyway.
Yeah.
The rumors I heard, and this is from another person, and again, I can't correlate the two, was that they just didn't want to work with Wesley Snipes on a major level because he was known to be a pain in the ass to deal with at that point. Again, I don't know how accurate that is, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I've heard Wesley Snipes is a pain in the ass to work with. But you'd get him, but he can't be that much of a pain in the ass.
But as I was saying, I was talking to one of the guys who would be one of his writers if he came on board. So clearly that was probably one of the points of contention, is that Wesley wanted to dictate certain things. And I imagine they didn't like that because, as we've seen from Edgar Wright down to whoever else, if you don't want to go along with what they want to do, then you're adios. Even Jon Favreau, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and let me introduce this idea. Mahershala Ali isn't letting them get away with a lot of crap either.
No, he's not. But this is the thing. He's really not. He's been pushing for major rewrites.
Which is kind of ironic, isn't it? If my story is true, if what I heard was true, that makes it ironic as hell.
Yeah. But I mean, you've already announced him. You've got him in there, right? At that point, he can be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna push you around a little bit. I'm gonna demand stuff. Maybe that's the flaw of Wesley was he demanded before he signed on.
Did he get like a Kryborg ego on his head or something? I just don't.
I have no idea. But
I mean, he's a decent actor, but he's not a movie star by any means. I would say he's a character actor at best. I mean,
who are you talking about?
Mahershala Ali, yeah.
Well, I mean, he's coming from the perspective of he's got 2 Oscars. Right? He's 2-time Oscar winner, which makes sense. But the stuff that they're looking to change and things. Initially, when we first started hearing about, because I've done several videos on Blade, it's just an absolute joke. They're like, the script was tiny. There was like 2 or 3 action scenes in the whole movie. I mean, that's bad in and unto its own. But now we're hearing even more nonsense about it. This is from Jeff Snyder. And so he says that basically things on Blade have gotten a little bit better. They don't sound better. So it's been reported that the script has been undergoing a rewrite as the flick not only has a new director but also a new writer. The script is leaner and meaner, and they cut out the fat. Well, does anyone want to guess how long the script is so far? Things are getting better.
Not very long,
guys. Things are getting better. How many pages? Bearing in mind, a page is a minute of a film, generally speaking, right? On a script. That's how they work it out. So, any guesses? Any guesses, panel?
I'm gonna say.
Things are getting better.
80 pages.
120.
96.
Okay, so no.
Oh shit!
The script I heard.
I was 7 pages off.
That's like a full moon movie.
It's like a kids animated film.
Yeah, Well, that's why I said full moon movies, because even kids movies are longer than that now.
The script I heard about was like 87 pages, not even an hour and a half. Bearing in mind, 10 of those minutes will be credits.
Well, unless there's a lot of and they fight, maybe there's
exactly. What? Like there wasn't enough, and they shaved it to the bone.
I mean, if they did that, I wouldn't be surprised if they just chopped it up into 3-episode miniseries and put it on Disney Plus.
Fucking hell. This is not a hard film to get right, guys. What are you doing? What are you actually doing? What they cut out, I heard, is that Blade was going to tie in with the Eternals and Kit Harington's Black Knight.
Oh, good lord.
Black Knight's not really involved in the Blade thing anymore. But his daughter still is. Because reasons. They may be recasting a few parts, including maybe the daughter. Was there like a 14-year-old girl? They may recast that. So she's still in there. Because we need to pass the torch, I guess, straight away.
To a better, stronger female Blade.
Well, for a younger person, because Marshall Ali's not getting any younger. The length of time it takes to make this film.
Jeez. She'll be in her 30s by the time this thing gets done.
This film is still slated to be released. When is it? I think it's slated to be released like next year. Next year, September 6th next year.
Wow. Guarantee you it gets pushed back.
It's gonna have to get pushed back. Look, think about all the stuff they have to, because of the circumstances we were describing earlier at Disney and the MCU, where they're pushing everything back. And now imagine you have this film, which has been production hell. I mean, I'm sorry, this is the definition of production hell. And wow, good lord.
I think it's like third or fourth director now.
No, Tom, I think it's 4, right? Tom? He's gone.
For which one?
Blade.
For Blade.
I think it's at least second or third, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was 4.
I don't know about fourth, but
it might be okay. Definitely third. Then I'm just gonna say but Disney overall has had a lot of problems with directors lately, especially at Marvel and Lucasfilm especially. But dang,
oh god, man, it's a freaking revolving door over there at Lucasfilm.
Well, we'll get to that as well. But yeah, you guys are right. I mean, but how do you fuck this up? How 87 pages is getting better. That's getting better. Goodness me. It's not a hard film to get right. It's just not. This is not a hard film to get right. What I can see they're doing is they're like, right, what we need to do is figure out a way to get Blade out of the picture straight away. And that's why I think that's why they're making it, that's why they're finding it difficult. A Blade film is not hard to get right. A Blade film that isn't actually a Blade film and is passing the torch whilst also introducing the character of Blade, but also introducing the character that he's going to pass the torch to, that can get difficult. That can get tricky.
And it could get tricky doing a PG-13 Blade movie.
Oh yeah, guys, yeah. Baby Blade.
Yeah.
There'll be a Blade Disney Plus series, won't there? Can you believe it?
And an animated show for the kids.
Oh, God damn. It'll be black and white so they can avoid the blood issues, I guess.
He'll stab them and, cut their heads off, throw them in the sun, and they'll poof into glitter, No,
I'm more worried about just the woke crap, because if you watched Hawkeye, there was plenty of blood in there. and
Yeah,
violence.
yeah,
I'm not
true.
worried about the PG-13 rating, and the ratings board will at least in the US let you get away with a hell of a lot more when it's vampires, aliens, and whatnots and monsters than they ever will if it's human. So as long as it's just vampires getting hacked and slashed, they don't care.
Yeah. Well, they're humanoid, aren't they? But
Doesn't matter. These zombies fall in that same arena too. That's why Walking Dead got away with so much too. Yep.
Wow.
In the US, I know in the UK they're a little bit different with the ratings, but yeah.
Well, this is just an epic shit show. It's an unmitigated disaster already. Like, yeah, this. I just how do you get any excitement behind these projects anymore? Honestly,
it's hard to get excited about anything Marvel or Disney's doing right now.
yeah.
Other than Deadpool 3, I am excited for that.
I'm not. I'm not
am.
excited for them. I need to see a trailer first, then I get excited.
With Ryan Reynolds, I don't think Ryan Reynolds is going to allow that film to get fucked up. And with Hugh Jackman coming back,
well, those actors carry weight, so you're right there. Those actors carry some weight behind them, so they can steer that ship in the right direction potentially. Ben Lowry drops in with a $2 super chat and says, "What will happen to Blade? Will it go woke?" Thoughts?
I would probably say there's a 75% chance. Yes,
very good chance.
99% chance.
99. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sure that was part of what Wesley's point of contention was, is he just wanted it to be a continuation of his original Blade, right? So that's why he didn't see any.
Which would have made it way cooler.
But of course, Marvel, that'd be cool if they did. They'd be cooler if they did, right? But of course not, right? You know. Yeah. We're at that point now where you're almost better off hoping thinking they're gonna do the worst, and then you can hope maybe it's not as bad as you think it's gonna be at this point. But even that, like Thor: Love and Thunder was proof that you could even imagine the worst and still go, God, this is even worse than I thought it could be.
But see, that's actually been the rule rather than the exception lately. It's like, the only thing that recently surprised me at all was Shazam. I expected that to be an epic shit show, and it wasn't.
Most people are saying it's better than the first one.
It is.
It is not. We'll cover that.
It's not doing good.
I said most, but
I might.
Sorry, what was that? Nick, I didn't hear you.
I get to play Paulie right now. I get to be the heel or
contrarian.
The contrarian. That's what
I was just saying, it's not doing good at the box office.
Oh hell no.
No. Well, let's I gotta take some moments to say again, we've still got over 500 people here. Please do hit that thumbs up button as you come in. It really does help out. I see some people asking questions and things like that. We're a panel here. What we're doing on this stream slightly different. If you want to drop in a question and have it discussed by the panel and answered, super chats are the way to do that. So please do use the super chat function. But I will also say, please do become a member. It helps out the channel. You get benefits to it, like a members only stream on Thursday. So please do consider becoming a member. Ben Lowry, in fact, drops in with $1.99, says, rumor has it Disney's considering buying Terminator. Doubtful, because there's a lot of projects in pipeline for that.
What's that company again that has it?
Wait, it's James Cameron and Skydance.
But there's that other
Skydance.
Yeah, but there's those other investors that are involved. Is that Skydance?
It's Skydance. He sold it back to Skydance.
That's what I.
But then there's a Netflix anime production as well with the Ghost in the Shell production animation studio behind it.
Canal.
So yeah, it won't be.
Well, Studio Canal just owns the distribution rights on the second one. I think it is.
It's Skydance. Skydance bought the rights back from James Cameron. James Cameron got the rights, and he
did the 35-year deal. Is what happened.
Yeah.
Probably
so no, Disney won't be buying it.
Probably a good move for him.
That.
Yeah, he probably reignited his own production company, Lightstorm, so probably helped a bit. I would imagine.
Yeah.
I will mention this also that Nate forgot. If you do become a member of the channel, you get a free super chat every month, which is a member chat. And that's a benefit that allows you to fire in a special chat. So there you go.
Yes. Yes. So yes, yeah. Thank you for
Bonus.
that. Well, I mean, let's talk about Shazam briefly then, because I didn't like it. I don't think it was very good. I thought
I
thought
haven't
it could have
seen
been
it.
a movie from like the last 20 odd years. Drab cannon fodder at the end, dark blue lights in the sky, overdrawn out third act, not as funny, bad balance. They completely cut out Billy Batson's character, so Zachary Levi could have center stage. Why on earth did you like it, Culture?
Whoa. Now you put words in my mouth.
You said it was good. You said it was
No.
better than the first.
It's better than the first. Well, you didn't ask me what I thought about the first one.
All right.
So,
Sorry.
to be honest,
me.
no,
What did you
to be
think,
honest,
then?
no, it's fine. It's fine. I set myself up to volunteer for that. But look, I see I see this as a relatively unoffensive film when I went in my expectations as much as I try to set them aside at the door to be quite offensive. And even the stuff they were playing off as like intersectional woke or whatever that they played on a very subtle level, the two pieces of humor they framed around it were not funny. They were trying to make jokes. They didn't land. That was the thing about this film. There was a lot of jokes that didn't land.
Yeah, it was.
But it wasn't outside of what you just described, like the elongated third act, let's say.
I got bored. I actually got bored of the third act.
I have to say, and this was the positive thing. And this is going to be way more positive than what I said about Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, because I really couldn't find much to say nice about that. But Helen Mirren actually played off Menace very, very well.
She was having fun, wasn't she? God bless her
I
soul.
was like,
Can't emote anymore. She had so much work done. She can't emote, but God bless her. She was having fun.
Oh, she was having a good time. And I'm like, well, hell, you did a good job.
Lucy Liu, though, very wooden performance.
Oh, yeah, but she's been phoning it in the last few things she's been in, right? And that's a real shame, because she was a dynamite to watch.
Yes.
And playing the bad guy at the end, and spoilers, folks, sorry. That's my Canadian sorry, which means I'm not really sorry. But sorry, Tom. Anyway,
he didn't mean that either, Tom.
She was awful in the third act. She just I couldn't believe how poorly she delivered that character. She really couldn't play Menace. She played she looked like she was constipated for like the last third of the film. That's what Lucy Liu was doing.
Yeah, she really phoned that performance in. That was bad.
Other than that,
I'll be honest, I'm not a big Lucy Liu fan. I think she's kind of overrated.
Oh wow.
I think she's good in what she rose to stardom in.
Kill Bill's the only movie I like her in. I'll be 100% honest.
Wow.
I have not liked her in anything else.
I think that's the only thing I've liked her in.
And it's a personal thing, obviously. It's just me, but yeah.
Yeah. No,
I can't think of anything else other than Kill Bill that I really liked her in. Just thinking.
Fair enough. Well, to tie in with that, we're getting this. How Dwayne Johnson kneecapped Black Adam and Shazam 2 while trying to take over DC. Dwayne Johnson is being blamed for Shazam's failure.
Oh, jeez.
Why?
Because, well, you've seen the film, Culture, so you'll know what I mean.
Yeah.
You'll know what I'm referring to. The post-credit scene where they talk about the Justice Society.
Yeah.
There was going to be Justice Society actors there, Aldous Hodge and someone else. And he said no. And that's apparently led to a shit box office.
All right. No.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Like, really? Behave.
No.
Who's buying that?
Dumb people.
Idiot. Yeah, absolute morons. I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I was like, what?
This film's box office was affected primarily by the fact that Gunn said none of this shit matters.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Now, this movie was dead before that, because that announcement didn't come until after the first weekend of the movie.
No. Tom, Gunn had basically already dropped his outline for going forward with DC, that none of these films we saw were going to mean anything.
That was
Yeah,
after Black Adam had come
I
out,
know.
though.
Oh, you're
Shazam
talking
2,
about.
we're talking
I'm
about
seeing
Shazam
Shazam
2.
2.
Oh yeah,
Talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
Oh.
two different things.
The Rock is being blamed for Shazam 2's failure.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Rock. Why? What does The Rock have to do with Shazam 2, though?
Because
that's
he said you can't use the actors from the Justice Society in
a post-credit
Shazam 2.
scene. Yeah.
Mate, it doesn't make any sense. I understand why you're confused because it doesn't make any sense. It's so
That's like
ridiculous.
asking why there's no chocolate on my peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That's a good question.
It is absolutely, it's absolute nonsense. It's yeah. Well, one thing that I think about, when this movie's failed, is how will the Flash do then, realistically? Because there's a lot of hype surrounding it, but the hype is only because of Michael Keaton. So how will the Flash do? Because I don't know whether that'll be as big because they've also now wheeled out Tom Cruise and gone, look, Tom Cruise has seen it, he loved it,
and he saved Hollywood.
As if that fucking matters to anyone.
I mean, that's the only reason I even want to see the Flash is just because Michael Keaton's in it. I care.
I thought you were going to
about...
say because you love Tom Cruise and love his opinion on stuff.
No, I could give two shits.
Well, that's why Culture wants to see it, because he loves Tom Cruise.
I do love Tom Cruise. I have.
Well, anyway, I don't know.
My buddy Tom got me my Tom shirt. I have 4 Toms on my shirt. I have Mission Impossible Tom. I have Top Gun Tom. Who else is on there, Tom? There's 4 Toms. There's a great shirt.
I think it was is Risky Business, Top Gun.
You get
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible and Days of Thunder, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I have I have the Toms. I like Tom Cruise. I know there's reasons for me not to. Some of his affiliations in the real world are challenging for me.
He's a weird guy. I hung out with him in LA at the Viper Room with Julia Stiles and what's Will Smith's wife's name? I'm drawing a blank.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith. And my buddy, who was a guitar player for 9 Inch Nails, invited me out there, and they were playing a show there, and they all came and hung out. And he pulled up on a motorcycle and had like 2 SUVs of entourage people behind him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a weird guy.
Yeah.
But I like his movies. Top Gun 2 was awesome.
Yeah, he's probably the last global superstar that we'll have.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Right. Well, anyway, I just thought to sort of cap off the whole Black Adam thing, that Shazam thing. Just thought that was nonsense, really. So we got some super chats here. Nikki D.
Real quick question, and I know. Sorry, Nikki, we'll get to you.
Yeah.
But real quick question: you have to admit the CGI in Shazam 2 was better than anything we've seen out of the MCU in a long time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was one of the things I said in my review. I was like, for visual effects, for all intents and purposes, it has actually been some of the best we've had out of
the monsters were great,
for
right?
a while.
Yeah, the monsters.
Yeah, but that's like.
But we haven't seen good visual effects in a while.
I know, but I had a budget of $125 million as well, so that makes all the other movies even more laughable.
It does.
But you're right, you are completely right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Nikki.
Shocking.
I just wanted to say that. I apologize.
Yeah. Nikki D for $5 says, if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 fails to reach $1 billion in the box office, will Disney consider it an underperformer? Now, I know Tom's just had to step out, but Culture, you're nodding. I'm guessing you just think firmly yes.
Yeah, if that film if it doesn't reach $1 billion, it's fallen well below their expectation. And I have said this on the record multiple times in many channels, including here once already, I believe, saying this. This film is the last opportunity, most likely, for Disney to hit $1 billion with an MCU film, unless they figure out a way to get their secret sauce back. And by all forward-looking projects and people involved, et cetera, this is it. And if it doesn't hit $1 billion, it's going to be considered an underperformer. It's going to be considered a disappointment to Disney internally. I think at that point you'll see the trades wake up, right, and actually start to like go on a less fettered version of their descriptors for Disney. And we've seen the trades start to like eke out of the access media, pie slice that they live in a little bit, but I think you're gonna see them like go maybe even jailbreak, on Disney if Guardians of the Galaxy 3 does not have an exemplary box office performance. So yeah, Disney will definitely consider it a disappointment.
Nick.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah. I mean, what's the budget on the film? 250 million, I think.
I don't know actually. I mean that's average for these kind of films, I would say.
Yeah,
I don't know
think
if
it's
they've revealed it or anything.
Yeah, I think it's 250 million was the budget for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I think if it does anything under 700, it'll be a box office failure. Though I think they might make a little bit of money, if it gets, but they'll make a decent amount if it's around 700, which I think it'll probably be in between 7 and 8. I don't think it's going to hit 1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, billion is
not with the shit show, the movies and TV shows they've been putting out. People are starting to lose interest fast.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, this is the thing, right? Is that they want to hit the billion mark. That is their aim. That is what they want to hit.
Good luck. Good luck.
They will even if they make some money, they will still say that that's a failure if they don't hit the billion. So I think.
Well, and just one last reaction to this idea. Gunn, about a year or so ago, maybe a little longer, said that he wanted a budget around $500 million to make the film he wanted to make for the third film. I'm not kidding.
What the fuck do you need that much money for?
Well, they gave him half that.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
No, man.
Yeah. Well, look, have you seen that they're revising upwards all the Lucasfilm production budgets? Those films are already done, or maybe they're still shooting. I don't know, but I mean, we all went to.
I didn't know anything was shooting.
That's my point. I recently, I think even the numbers updated their website that Force Awakens was $306 million in budget.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe it.
So you're in this correlates with all these people saying in the background that quite possibly there's going to be an audit of all their divisions in Disney. So
I can believe it.
No way do I believe Lucasfilm is making Disney money.
No, they aren't. You know that better than anybody.
No way.
You know that better than anybody.
Ben Lowry for $1.99 says, please explain why Flash wasn't cancelled because of Ezra. Because of Ezra. He's in every single scene and he's playing multiple versions of himself. That is why. That's why it's an expensive film as it is. It's very, very expensive. It's not cost effective for them. That's what I heard.
At this point, they just got to try to recoup as much money as they can, and just deal with it.
Yeah. But it's also because apparently Ezra is a good part of the film. Now, you guys know my thoughts on Ezra. I'm not singing his praises. I'm telling you directly what sources have told me that have seen the film. He is actually very good in this, apparently. And I'm not one to promote him in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to, but you're asking me, and honestly, that's what I've heard. I've heard that he's actually the best part of the film.
Yeah, I can definitely separate the artist from the person, and so when I watch it, I'll be watching, the Flash. I'm not going to be watching Ezra Miller, So I'll be able to keep that separate in my mind as I'm watching it.
All right, interesting. Revenge of the Netherrealm became a member, so thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Great name as well. Thank you so much, everyone, joining in the conversation with super chats and supporting the channel. Really, it does help out. So thank you so much. Manny Peregrine 81 for $4.99 says, for me personally, I believe the rumor that both Dwayne Johnson and his ex Danny Garcia convinced Henry Cavill to do lesser roles since Man of Steel. I have not heard this rumor. Anyone? What's this rumor? So for context, Danny Garcia is Henry Cavill's manager.
What was? I think he fired
Yeah,
her.
they parted ways now.
Yeah.
But was. So
she represented both.
Convinced Henry Cavill to do lesser roles.
Yeah, I mean, she still represents Dwayne, but I mean, that's a weird relationship, but whatever.
Yes, it's weird.
But
I like Henry Cavill more than The Rock.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, and as much as I enjoy The Rock and everything he's been in and all of his wrestling and all the stuff I've seen him in for a long time, I still like Henry Cavill better. So
yeah. The Rock is more of a sheep follower in Hollywood than Henry Cavill is.
Yeah. I've not heard this. I've not heard this.
I haven't either.
I've not heard this rumor. I don't think Henry Cavill's pay request would be that high for him to not get bigger roles anyway. So I don't know. It may be that he doesn't want those roles.
If I had to stab a guess at what came between him and Danny Garcia, it was more so the drama that kept going down between DC and Superman, because I think that whole thing was kind of a last-ditch effort on her part, more so to get him back than anything, getting him in, a Black Adam deal. As far as the rest of it goes, I think he kind of blamed her for not getting a very good deal with The Witcher, because obviously he left because he didn't have enough control or power over the show.
Yeah,
yeah, so and as our friend Robert Meyer Burnett likes to point out, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate.
Yeah.
And every time I hear somebody griping about not getting this or not getting that in Hollywood, my first thought is then fire your agent. Because guess what? Yeah. Sorry,
Manny's followed it up and said it's something to talk about because it prevented Henry from overshadowing Dwayne Johnson.
There was rumors about that she kind of would slide Dwayne the better roles first, or like would
do we believe
bait
that,
and switch? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing with Henry Cavill, right? Like, is he really a movie star? He's never led anything other than what, Man from U.N.C.L.E. outside of Superman.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., Superman. But I don't know. Witcher.
Yeah,
it's a TV show.
Supposed to be in Highlander as well.
But I mean, as far as movies, yeah,
he hasn't done anything big. But the thing that would overshadow it is just Superman the character. I mean, you could put a monkey in the suit and it would overshadow Black Adam. I mean, it's
but you could
Superman.
Accuse her, right? But you could accuse her of not capitalizing on his success from Man of Steel and whatever little was left over after Batman v Superman, and using that to Hollywood. Great. Maybe she didn't. I don't know. I mean, I've heard the rumors where supposedly there were scripts where people wanted Henry, but then she'd push The Rock. But I don't know how accurate that really is or anything. But yeah.
Well, but he's also supposed to be doing. Isn't he supposed to now be doing a Sherlock Holmes spin-off for Netflix as well? Like he's
something like that.
Well, he's getting bigger things now. Actually, well, no, in fairness, there might be some truth to the rumor because he is getting bigger things now.
His new agent, yeah. Because she also is the one who got him the Warhammer deal too. Sorry.
How was he in Mission Impossible Fallout? Because I still haven't seen that movie.
Apparently, really good. I heard. I haven't seen it, but apparently he was really good.
His mustache was amazing.
And
the one that had the CGI out in the reshoots.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because the man that saved Hollywood said he wasn't going to allow him to shave it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, there might be some truth to it, though. He is now getting more projects, bigger projects. So, yeah, there might be some truth to it.
Some other weird thing. Is shit. You mentioned Highlander. That seems to have been pushed completely off the map now. Well, I wonder if that was one of the last of his and Garcia's projects that was put together with her, because
that would have been. That was quite a while ago.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, it was supposed to start shooting last April.
Yeah.
Almost a year ago, and it didn't. And then we found out what was going on is they had to go in for rewrites, and there's been no movement on it since. So I have no idea what happened. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now he might have tried backing out of it.
He'll end up in a Fast and the Furious movie at some point.
Well, and I'm sure these contracts have certain start dates by, like, if you don't start by this certain date, you probably risk losing a certain actor at a point.
Yeah,
right?
You can back out of it. There'd be a
right, exactly, without any repercussions. Exactly.
Stuff. Yeah. Look, guys, we've got a legend in the chat, Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
Thank you so much, Brie, for Brie. Big fan.
Why don't you throw that dress on that you had on late night and jump on the stream?
$20, Brie.
Is that all you can afford, Brie? Come on,
Brie.
now.
Come on, that should have been $2,000 easy.
Yeah, you can do better.
Well, she's hawking Nissans, not Mercedes. Come on.
I have a question. How come every time I drive somewhere in my Nissan, after I return to my car after getting out the first time, it smells like fart?
Gas X, invest.
Oh my god!
There's a spray for that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh dear. I don't know who's created this account, but you're a legend. That is epic. That has cracked me right up. Oh, Nissans are great. Or Datsuns. Love a Datsun. Love a good old Datsun. Which I've actually quick car news. Now we're on the topic of Nissans and Datsuns and things. I've actually technically own my dream car now. Technically. So I've paid for it. Technically it's mine.
Just the body?
No, I bought the car, but I can return it. Basically, I got given a good deal that if I pay for it now, it's being imported. I've had a deposit on this car for like 2 years.
Ferrari or
being
Lambo?
Imported. Hey?
Ferrari or Lambo?
Oh no, my dream car's real basic.
Prius?
No, cool. It's cool, but basically, I've had a deposit on this car for 2 years, and it lands in the country.
A Batmobile.
Lands in the country in 2 days, and if I paid for it now, up front, and if I pay for it now up front, I get a better deal on it. But if I don't like it, I get all my money back anyway. So technically, I own my dream car, a Datsun 510.
Oh wow!
Wow. I think that's the ugliest car I've ever seen, Nate.
But it's got ground effects on it. Actually, I like it, and I like the color. So I'm being honest.
And I will say, I will say one of the girls that I dated very early on drove one of those. So there you are.
They are super cool. They're super slow. They're not fast. I know it's not like, it's not to me. I just love the looks. I love the look of the car. They are epic. They are.
It's a weird placement for the side mirrors. I've never seen that before.
Well, so you know what they're called? Wing mirrors, don't you? Because they used to actually be on the wings of the car.
Huh. Did not know that.
Did you not know that?
No.
It's literally in the name.
Yeah. I'm not really a car guy. Like my dad and my brother do the car thing. I never got into it. So there's probably a lot of basic, simple stuff I don't know anything about.
I'm bit. Well, this is my daily driver. That's what I drive normally.
Oh, nice.
So that's my daily driver. So like when I'm saying the Datsun is actually my dream car. Like I've got that's a display of a Datsun 510. There's one over there. That's a display of another Datsun 510. I've got a Datsun 510 clock, which you can't see. I've got loads of Datsun 5. I love the Datsun 510, but I like my cars anyway. And so that's my daily driver, the Lexus. But the Datsun 510 is just like it's going to be my Sunday cruiser. The car I go out in on a Sunday and sort of mill around it. But anyway, we just thought I'd bring that up because
the Datsun's going to be your normal like driving around.
No. That'll only come out in nice weather.
Oh.
This is the car I drive every day.
Okay, so that'll
this
just
is the
be
Sunday
a
cruiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it all
show project car? That can
is it all originals?
Is what all original?
Like Yeah, is it all original?
Yeah.
Like same original motor, like everything?
Yeah, original motor. The engine bay's been completely stripped of bare metal, repainted and stuff. This is all original. The wheels aren't, obviously, but yeah, it's all original. It's all original. Retrimmed interior. It's proper slow. It's not going to be anything special or anything like that, but that's the point of it. Oh, it's got a new exhaust system, but that's about it. It's just going to be cool. Should be cool. Anyway, we'll move on now because I don't want to overtake the stream with car talk. But speaking of Star Wars, ladies and gents, Nick, our resident Star Wars lover, you must be aware of this. Damon Lindelof has exited the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, he's the next one to go through the revolving door.
Are we ever gonna get a Star Wars movie? Like, seriously, are we ever gonna get a Star Wars movie at this point?
No.
Every single time.
Is Taika Waititi's the only one that hasn't been totally canceled yet?
It's not happening.
That's not happening either.
That's not happening either. Bob Iger came out and said that they're being careful with the next movie, and the next one has to be great, and if it's not great, then it's not worth making or doing. Well, my question is, who is coming up with the definition of great for Star Wars? Yeah, because obviously nobody over there knows jack squat about great Star Wars, because everything you guys have done for the most part has just been complete shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised by this. Like, anytime Disney, so me and Coach did a video was it day before yesterday on a look back at when Kathleen Kennedy came out. I think it was 2020 for the Disney conference thing with the reveal where she was sitting there talking and then had the huge screen up with all the different projects, that was going on. Out of all of them on there, I think we counted them. I think it was 14 different projects, and I think 4 of them actually happened. All the other ones have not done it, have either been canceled, or there's been zero word about it. So I don't know what's going on over there. It's a complete shit show over there at Lucasfilm.
Well, it is. So this isn't. Basically, this came after Damon Lindelof spoke at South by Southwest, and he said this. I will just say that for reasons that I can't get into on this Sunday morning, on this day, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely, extremely high. If it can't be great, it shouldn't exist. That's all I'll say. Because I have the same association with it as you do, which is it's the first movie I saw sitting in my dad's lap, 4 years old, May of 1977. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something in such high reverence and esteem, you start to get in the kitchen and you just go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking. Maybe I should just be eating. And we'll just leave it at that point. And then, obviously, so I have heard behind the scenes that this is a creative difference issue, right? I've heard that before we had this confirmation, this is not even confirmation that he's left, this is a rumor that he's left. But I had heard on the lead up to this statement by Southwest was basically what was going on was they were trying to steer it in the general Lucasfilm direction. And Damon Lindelof, I hate Damon Lindelof. I think he's a dipshit. But this is one of the first big gigs he's had for a while. And what I had heard is he genuinely does have a love for Star Wars, right? He genuinely does have a love for Star Wars. He saw the direction they were trying to take it in, and he was like, whoa, no, we're not doing that. No. Can we go over this way? Can we steer the ship right rather than left? Is that all right? And it's led to big creative differences. So he's trying to back out, basically, or has backed out. That's what I had heard. I don't know. Tom, have you heard anything about this? Oh, Tom's muted or dead or who knows. But Nick, what have you?
So sorry, I'm back.
Oh, he's back. There you go.
I have not. Other than just that, I'm not surprised it's dead. I mean, it's Damon Lindelof, like you said. He shouldn't be working in Hollywood.
Well, the bloom is off the rose for sure, right? I mean, yeah. I mean,
it's a guy that made Watchmen woke and crap. I mean,
this is the thing. Like, I'm aware he's bad, but apparently this is something which he does actually like, and does because it's the first big gig he's had for a while, and it's something he likes. It's something he's trying to actually get right for a change. Whereas the thing is, when you hear about the creative difference element, you got to ask yourself, well, who's the problem here? Who has a history of
Kathleen
pushing the
Kennedy.
property? Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly. So who has a history of pushing the franchise in a direction that's absolute shit show?
The lady who's
Kathleen
fired more
Kennedy.
people than she's hired. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So when I heard that he has a love for it and is trying to get it right, it is his first big gig for a while, I was like, oh yeah, I can believe that, actually, in fairness. But yeah, Culture, you look like you wanted to say something there, bud.
I'm just not a fan. I mean, I don't like Lindelof. I have no illusions that we'll still be 5 years or more before we get an actual Star Wars film again. And to be fair, that's a good thing. The farther away we can get from the modern audience thought process and everything else, I think the better off we will all be. I think idiots like David Lindelof and similar humans are on their way out, because they've eventually proved themselves to be slightly below average when it comes to the studios and the performance for their products. I mean, and it doesn't matter whether or not they come from cinema or television. They really do eventually have the bloom fall off the rose. And I think that with Lindelof and many others like him, and anybody that's related to JJ and that family tree of bad humans from Bad Reboot, I think you're gonna be better off without it. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. And of course, D&D, I'm not a big fan of them anymore. They destroyed Game of Thrones. So not a fan of any of these people. So yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, freaking Victoria Alonso is gone, and that news came out, and you hear about other executives, Bob Chapek, he's gone, a lot of other directors and other people in Hollywood getting fired. How the fuck does Kathleen Kennedy still have a job? Like, there's been one failure after another, one shit show after another. How is she still employed? How many mistakes and how many screw ups have to happen at Lucasfilm before Iger or the board or people are like, what is going on over there at Lucasfilm? It's an absolute joke. And why is she still running things over there? It makes absolutely no sense to me.
I agree. Who knows? As you say, it doesn't actually make any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's truly bizarre. Truly, truly bizarre.
Yeah, another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Nikki D dropped in.
Lucasfilm.
Nikki D dropped in with $5. Says, "Do you think Chris Hemsworth will come back to play Thor? If not, do you think he'll make more Extraction movies for Netflix?" So there is an Extraction movie releasing this year, actually, for Netflix. I don't think he's coming back for Thor. I think he's made his stance on that pretty clear. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion on that.
Yeah, apparently, I guess he's not happy with the direction they're taking Thor, with this comedic sort of dunce idiot, running around. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he say something along the lines of if they don't basically get back to normal Thor, like he has no interest in coming back?
He did say that.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, and he also said that it was a really frustrating. He compared working on one film to another, and basically said how working on this other film was a much better experience than working with Marvel as well.
Yeah.
So, like, it was a pretty big indictment of Marvel on a whole. So, yeah, pretty much down the line, to be fair.
I wouldn't blame him one bit if he never came back to play Thor again.
No, neither will I.
It's just how many different times can we see Thor? Thor finally grows up. I mean, because he grew up in the first film, and then they put us through hell in the second film because it was that film Dark World was terrible. But then the third film, we did it all over again. This time with Hulk, right? And then in the Love and Blunder, Cuck and Bother. I don't know what it. Anyway, that film was very, very bad. And guess what? We had a unresolved Try to Find Yourself Thor again. Dude found himself. Dude's like thousands and thousands of years old. He found himself a long
He
time.
found himself a babysitter.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Thor is like Grogu in the MCU. Just get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And I can't believe you keep a straight face on your stream sometimes, Nick, when it comes to this freaking Grogu and the Star Wars shit. I'm like, oh my God. I think
that's the most cultures ever swore.
Yeah, they kicked freaking Baby Yoda out of that show at the end of the second season of Mandalorian. Leave him there. Bringing him back, via Book of Boba Fett. Talk about wasting side quests, the series, right? So you had Book of Boba Fett, which had side quests, the series stuff in it, like, 3 episodes that were Mando. That's not Book of Boba Fett. Then you bring in the Mando recently, and you had the 3rd episode there. That's like side quest, the freaking TV show. You get freaking, Lieutenant Biscuits and Dr. I don't give a shit. And you're all headed down towards the freaking, sequel trilogy, which is the worst nightmare for any real Star Wars fan. You're like, oh God, please, why? Why are we racing to get to crap and average garbage and below average garbage? Why? What is your damage? Why are you assassinating something that you paid $4 billion plus for? The hell is wrong with you? Anyway.
Yeah, we've ranted several times, but I gotta try to be low key on the channel because Coach is a school teacher and has middle school kids watching and church people watching, so I can't go hardcore over there like I'd like to. Now when he's not on stream, and I've done this before, like if I'm doing it with other guests, I'd say whatever the fuck I want on there. I'm like, Coach ain't here.
You're brutal down the line.
Yeah, like I'm taking over, so.
Well, and as much as I enjoy some of the humor of Darth Cuckball or whatever that was on there the other night.
Darth Simpus.
Yeah. I'm like, good Lord, you are hardcore simping. Anyway, and I would say that to his face, so it's not.
Yeah. I mean, he knows it, and that's why. That's why we call him that.
I know,
but we just we also try to have a balanced conversation and bring people on that have different. Because if we're on there trashing it the whole time, and we bring other people on there to trash it with us, so we try to bring people on there that are actually liking some of this crap. So they can, give their perspective. And there's a lot of people in our chat that are loving The Mandalorian, loved Andor, love Book of Boba Fett. And I don't get it, but.
Look, me, I support everybody who has something that they love. And I'll never tear them down for it. But, I'm like, look, like what you like, love what you love. And I think that's the best place to come from. Because then you can have civil discourse and fun with each other. But you guys do a great job on your channel. I wasn't attacking you at all, Nick.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So we got a few more super chats. Sorry, I just want to a few more super chats to get to, guys.
Just tell me to shut up,
and I'm aware, actually, sorry, just as an FYI, I think, Tom, you need to leave now, don't you? Is that right?
I got about maybe 10 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to these super chats, and then we'll say your farewells.
Oh, look at
Larry Quadowitz for $5 says, congrats on the H-Mobile. Yeah, that isn't just as an FYI, because whenever people talk about stuff, that's not me showing off. I felt like it was topical. I'm really excited. It also wasn't expensive, just as an FYI. Like it's a 50, I think it's like 55-year-old Japanese car. It wasn't expensive. It's not me showing off. I just want to clarify, because people get really weird when you do stuff like that. People get really weird. There's always bizarre knee-jerk reactions. I just want to clarify that's not the intention behind it. It wasn't me trying to show off. I'm just excited. It's my dream car.
I also want to ask you a question in conjunction with that in the super chat. The shipping was more than the car, wasn't
it? So I don't actually know, to be honest. Like,
because you got shipping free, right? If you paid for it.
No, so the shipping is worked out into the overall cost that I just pay. But part of that is also customs and clearance fees.
Yeah.
So in fairness, it might actually work out like that was about the same price of the car, which doubles it and things like. Does that make sense? Like, I have no idea. Like, I know stuff like that can be really expensive
It's dumb.
overall, but the price of the car wasn't. The overall price wasn't actually expensive. So I don't actually know. I don't know how the business works.
Oof.
I honestly, I don't know. I'll get into it. Here you go, ladies and gents. Members only, and also the Sunday stream. I'll get into it there and I'll discuss it there because it was interesting, and the guy let me in on a little bit of his business structure, but I don't want to get into it here. But it was interesting. I'll let you guys know. Anyway, are you guys going to discuss Zach Levi's comments on Snyder fans not liking him? Levi being cringe in real life again, in my opinion. So yeah, this did actually happen.
Anything about it.
Yeah, really odd. So he calls out. I covered this in a video. He's very non-specific, and I don't understand what he's talking about. He's talking about a social media backlash that he's received, but he hasn't ever really received a social media backlash, ever really.
I haven't seen or heard anything on social media with anybody trashing him.
So he says this: there's a whole contingent of comic book fans. That it's really unfortunate that there's this one particular group of people that think they don't like me because I don't agree with them on other comic book movies. You know who I'm talking about. But instead of there being a conversation, they take up so many of my words or things completely out of context, and then they go stir up all the other people that they know online, and they all just want to attack and attack and attack and attack. And it's all really sad because this is just one example of so many examples of the amount of just venom, toxicity and bullying that goes on in these cyber dimensions. He's basically claiming he got bullied, and it sounds like he's alluding to Snyderverse fans. I don't know. Someone did say on my video that because he promoted the James Gunn video, people attacked him, but I don't remember that.
Maybe. Well, actually, no. There's some truth to this because I have seen, since he has been defending James Gunn a little bit, some of the Snyder crew has been kind of going after him a little bit.
Really? But it's not been a massive thing, has it?
I don't know about massively, but I did see a few. I mean, I will say that it has happened, but I don't know to what extent, right?
I mean, he's not been bullied, though, has he?
No, I haven't seen that. Anything.
Look, I'm the last person to ask about this because I antagonize and get pestered by the Snyder fans daily. So,
right. Well, he's not been bullied then. Well, that settles it. There you go.
And again, I mean, this is one of those classic times when they come out and they say these things with no specifics. They can't cite anything. Nobody go spelunking. Try to find some stuff. Show me I'm wrong, but I doubt this happened.
It's like the Rose Tico bullying.
Yeah. And
has anyone found receipts for that yet?
No. I mean, she was, and again, I mean, we keep saying, well, she left social media because she was being harassed in other ways, not because of fans, about her character for Star Wars, and she didn't enjoy it. There are people who don't enjoy social media, right? I mean, the only reason I'm on social media any longer in any form or capacity is because I do this. If I wasn't doing this,
I leave social media regularly. I will deactivate Instagram. I sort of like, I have such a volatile relationship with social media. Again, if I didn't do this, I wouldn't be on it. I wouldn't be on it. I don't really care for social media that much. So there are just some people that just don't like it and choose to exit.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was really odd. Cheers for the super chat.
Thank you,
Larry, my dude. It was really weird statements that he was making. Bizarre stuff. And also he's making people look at him in that way now more than not. So that's really odd as well. But we've got another few super chats here. Rhino 1931 says, on the subject of Lindelof, if you want to see him actually do something good, watch The Leftovers. Definitely up there with best shows I've ever seen. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I've not heard of it either.
What is this? Any idea? Have you heard of this?
I've never heard of it.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
New to me. Mr. Esquire. I assume that's what it is. Mr. Esk dropped in with $20. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget, CH said Chris Hemsworth said he would be pulling back due to his genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's. Also, is Alonso just a fool person, or should we be a little hopeful? So you are actually completely right, and I had actually forgotten about that. Yeah, because he did this
which was weird because he had said he was willing to play Thor forever before that, and then all of a sudden he changed his tune. Yeah, sorry, Mr. H.
Yeah, well, no, you are right. Like he did this like family tree thing and genetic and all that kind of. I don't know. He did this thing where he found out he had a genetic predisposition to Alzheimer's. So he's like, "Oh, I'm going to cut back and do." Well, no, didn't he say he's going to cut back and do things that he really enjoys more, or something like that? Wasn't there something to that effect? I can't remember.
Yeah, and there was an allusion to not working with crazy directors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Taika big titties.
It really did ring of, I'm not going to keep doing this stupid Thor crap, especially with him. Basically, is kind of what it translated to. And then, like I said, after he had just said that I'm going to do Thor forever,
Yeah, so I don't want to paraphrase or misquote, but I remember there was something to that effect. But so this is an interesting thing anyway. Alonso just being a full person, or should we be a little hopeful? I don't think we should be hopeful. I've kind of said already. Earlier in the stream, I kind of stand by my previous statements. The rot isn't out of Marvel, and there are still massive issues at Marvel. I definitely think she is a full person, but it's what happens now on the back end that reveals whether we should be hopeful or not moving forwards. Thoughts?
I bet it doesn't get any better, not anytime soon, anyways.
Yeah.
No, I can only kind of reiterate what I said before, and that is, unless they really know what the problem is and not just a quality control issue, then I mean, if they fired her for more than just a few reasons, but for all the right reasons, and they understand what the problem is, and she was one of the people that dictated a lot of this stuff, and they realize that, maybe. But from everything Bob Iger said, they're not going to shy away from the woke. So I don't think that's why she got fired so much, is just these last few movies bombing, basically, and the disaster that has been all the Disney Plus shows too. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Jonas J. Campbell for $1.99 says Zach Levi came out against the jab too. So he came out against Pfizer specifically. He never said anything actually about the jab. He said about Pfizer. But yes, I mean, we could say he's alluding to that for sure.
Did you know if you rearrange the letters in Pfizer, it spells Lucifer?
You are joking. No,
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm serious.
There's no L.
The J you turn like upside down.
Oh, well, that's
pushing it.
Come on now.
I saw a video on it the other day. I thought it was
I bet you did.
And I'll take that moment to exit here. I apologize for having to leave early, but thank you for having me.
All right, dude.
All right, Tom,
so
see you, buddy.
Midnight Sage After Dark stream.
Love you.
Yes.
So head on over to Midnight Sage After Dark. Please do go and
about
check
20 minutes or so.
Don't leave
if
now.
we're lucky.
Right? Don't leave
watch this first
for his fucking stream. All right, obviously. I'm not asking you. Don't do that. All right, this is the better place.
I don't even start for like another 15. So
when we end, then you can go.
There you go.
But do go see Midnight Sage After Dark. There'll be a stream over there. But thanks for joining, Tom. Take care.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Bye, Tom.
Peace out. And that does actually bring us nicely off to our last topic of the day, which I think is actually quite an interesting one. And it's Gears of War Netflix movie. Has got John Spates as the screenwriter. Now, he's actually a really good writer.
Yeah.
He is actually a good writer. Now, a lot of people, there's an interesting, loads of scripts float around the internet all the time. And one of the ones, which is a big one, was Prometheus. And he actually wrote one of the earliest drafts for Prometheus. And then obviously Damon Lindelof came on board, rewrote it all to hell, and then we got a shitty film on the back end.
Wait a minute.
John Spates' version was actually really good. It was a pretty decent, it made sense. It was a decent movie and it made sense. He's a good writer.
Yeah.
And this is a heavy hitter for Netflix to have. So to me, it shows that they are actually serious about it. And he's an award nominee. He wrote Dune Part 1 and 2. And he's been asked to write the live action Gears of War film. Deadline can confirm.
And it's based on the first game.
Well, I don't know. We don't know that, actually. Do they say that? I don't think they do.
One of the articles I grabbed this morning for the 6 Minute Daily says it's going to be followed very closely the first game.
Is that confirmed by anyone, though?
It was in one of the trades that I grabbed the story from this morning.
Well, here they say debuting. They just talk about the first. I don't know. Well, who knows? If that is the case, great. I'd love it if they did, because it's a great game.
It
I
is.
remember I used to live in the West Country, so Southwest Country. We love a bit of cider down there. So I remember playing Xbox until God knows what time in the night, getting absolutely wasted on cider with my buddies, drinking and playing Gears of War. Loved Gears of War. It's so good. Love that game. That game was epic, all epicness. So if they adapt that, how'd you get it wrong? I mean, they will, but how could you get it wrong? I mean, it's Netflix as well, though. That's the other downside.
But Netflix seems to be wanting to get into the cinematic film release business, right? And it's not, and of course, this thing is supposed to be followed with an animated series. So
is it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going
Oh
on.
yeah, an adult animated series set in the world with games to follow. Yeah, true. Oh wow, yeah. So they're supposed to do quite a lot, actually.
Yeah.
It is produced with Coalition though, so they are on board.
Exactly.
Kind of a good thing.
Yeah. And I'm pretty.
It's not like they just bought the IP and was like, "Fuck off, we're just going to do it." They went, "You need to work with us, the game maker, the IP holder."
Right.
So that's quite good. I think that's quite a good sign. I don't hate John Spates. Some of his work's good, some of it's bad, obviously, but some of it's really good. His drafts of stuff tends to be quite decent. Nick, what do you have any relation to Gears of War? Do you like it? Do you not like it?
I never played the game. I'm a Sony pony, so I've never owned I've never owned an Xbox, never played an Xbox, never played any games on an Xbox. So I don't know anything about it, but I've heard nothing about the game. I know it has a big, huge following, and I've seen trailers and stuff for it, and I've seen gameplay for it, and it looks cool. I mean, if this writer's as good as he's supposed to be, then it could be an interesting show. And I would watch the show especially if it got good reviews and that sort of thing, even though I don't really know anything about the game.
I think you'll really like Marcus and the Fire Team Delta. I think you'll like him, Nick. I think you'll enjoy it.
Marcus, okay.
Yeah. Well, so interestingly, he originally wrote Prometheus, and then it was rewritten famously by Damon Lindelof, butchered. But he wrote Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Not bad. Passengers. Not great.
Well, it had pretty people in it.
Yeah, not great, but whatever. And then these other things, I'm not 100% certain what they are, but then loads of people reference The Mummy. He just did the screen story. He would have just done the script treatment by the sounds of it, just an outline. And then it was handed off over to other people. But Dune, he did the whole screenplay for Dune Part 1 and Part 2. And that, I like Dune Part 1.
Dune Part 1 was
it's not a complete story, but that's because it's actually not a complete story.
It's like watching Fellowship of the Ring for the first time, and
yeah. So I mean, it's physically not a complete, but I don't hate his work. It's not horrendous. He's done some decent stuff. He's got apparently Justice League Dark, but that's not going to be happening anytime soon anyway. Van Helsing, I don't think that's happening either. And then Dune Part 2, but we know that that's in post-production anyway. I think this is quite good. It could be. It's at least a sign that they're taking it seriously, I guess. I mean, that's the main thing, is that they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, you went out and got a real writer and again, I really do believe that this is Netflix. Netflix is going to be a cinematic studio. They don't know how to go about getting there, but they've been doing it. And I mean, we've seen some of their stuff in cinema. I believe they are going that direction. And I don't just believe it. I mean, it looks like that's their plan. And I feel like you're going to see things like, the Onion stuff from, the round-headed guy, Ruin Roundhead, the dude that ruined Star Wars. You're gonna see his next project spend more time in cinemas, in theaters, than it did this last time around, right? So you're gonna start seeing that more and more frequently. Day and date releases with Netflix, where they drop that thing in the cinema. You're gonna see that more and more frequently, and eventually, I believe you may see things that go to the cinema for a regular release window, and then back to Netflix. And let me put it this last final idea in everybody's minds. They're already using union talent. They're using all of the union stuff in many cases now, following union rules, et cetera, and basically looking like a real studio. And they just spent an inordinate amount of money buying a military base to convert it into a full-blown production site. So,
oh really? I did not know this. That's huge then, because that's a massive, major investment for them.
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's a ridiculous investment for them.
Did you see the trailer for the new game I tagged you in on Twitter today, Nate?
Did you tag me in something on Twitter? I did not see that.
Yeah. New trailer that dropped new trailer for a new game coming out that dropped today, Aliens Dark Descent.
I did not get a notification for that, buddy.
Yeah, I added you on Twitter with a link to the trailer.
I honestly did not get the notification for that. That's really annoying. Wow.
Yeah. I'll put let's see.
Hello and welcome to this exclusive first.
I linked it in the private chat.
He clicked on it. I was listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks interesting. New Aliens game. It's a squad based action RPG game, sort of like sort of almost like a Diablo, but squad based.
I remember seeing this before. I don't like the look of this. I remember seeing when they first released some information about this before, and I was like, you know what, I don't like, because what is it? It's like a reskinned version of like a zombie game. You know?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. God, what's the name of that?
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember it. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, these games, I like the first person. I like the first person alien stuff. I think that's the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll have a look, I guess, and give it another chance. But I did not get that notification. That's bloody annoying. Sorry, but I honestly didn't even. I'm looking at my notifications. It didn't come up.
You must have us muted.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I honestly don't. I'm following
these fucking echo based guys. God, I gotta mute these.
Echo mute base.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, because I've been looking at your other tweets, leaked footage from tonight's Mandalorian. That was hilarious. Yeah. I did not get that.
Oh, Blandalorian. Okay, so I have to watch Blandalorian, and I have to watch.
You might not have to now because Paulie's exited the stream, so don't worry about it.
What?
What do you mean? What? I'm not having people on that are unprofessional, buddy. I'm not having that again.
All right.
That's done. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. With that explanation, I've tried to get an explanation from him. He's not explained it. I'm not having that nonsense. I'm not having it. I don't want to address it publicly, but I'm not going to have that nonsense. He's earned money on the back end of these streams because people have come from these streams to his stream. I've promoted his streams. I've seen them super chatted and stuff like this. I'm not doing it. That's not cool. It fucks my flow up. It messes my mood up. At least explain it. He hasn't explained it. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it.
I don't even know what's going on.
go back to literally the first 5 minutes of the stream and you'll be like, what the fuck? No one knows what's going on, Nick. No one knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. You don't know. You won't know what's going on. No one knows what's going on.
All right.
So no.
I'll go watch the first half replay.
Let's go with no.
Well, no, I mean, back me up, Culture. It was very bizarre.
It was very strange. We did have a very odd start to the stream, no doubt about it. But we've had an amazing stream, and we've had a lot of fun. And I have to say thank you to everybody out there who's been supporting the channel because
absolutely
the super chats have been popping, and you guys, the new members, are great. This got to grow this channel more. Need more Mr. H. Yeah.
Well, these streams are good. Like I really enjoy these streams. The panels are good.
Just keep the camera off in the bed is all I have to. Just keep the camera off in the bed.
Oh, fucking get lost. I did. I will. They're never there. Whatever.
I was listening the other day. I'm like working in the background. I'm like,
they're good streams, man. People love them streams.
Cameras off.
They're good streams. They are. They're decent streams. what Culture's talking about here is Sunday. I do a leaf out of your book, Nick. I do a chill stream on Sunday.
Oh, hell yeah. Chill stream.
Yeah. Well, I'm from my bed. I'm literally in bed when I do it. So people have a real issue with me streaming from my bed, apparently. I don't understand what the issue is. The camera's off. I don't like. I'm just there with my dog. Like, it's not a weird thing. To me, it's not weird.
So you're not on camera. You just got like a icon like I have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't see what the issue is. People got like a real problem with it. People think it's really weird. I don't think it's weird. So yeah, never mind. But anyway, it's good fun. Anyway, people love those streams, and they've been good as well.
They're fun.
But yeah, so guys, please do join the channel, become a member. After Thursday's stream, we will be doing a members only stream, so please do join that. But that's again only accessible via memberships. You get a monthly free super chat as well, which I have not been grabbing, so that's my bad. If there was any this stream, I don't think there was actually, in fairness. But I may hand that power over to you, Culture, whilst we're doing these panels from now on.
Power.
Grab the member super chats as they come.
Oh, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, have to do that.
I can do that.
Yeah. What was this? Valiant Mine member chat. What was Valiant saying?
What did Valiant say?
Chat? I don't know. He says my member chat. Oh, have you did a member chat?
Oh, Valiant, you did a member chat?
Did he? I don't know.
I'm slacking today. I was working.
Bizarre. All right, what's going on then, Culture? Come on, find it.
It's definitely my fault. Hang on.
Valiant, just copy and paste it again or something.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, he says lol. Yeah, for goodness sake. Come on now. Olaf. Yeah, DM me on Twitter. My DMs are open. I just have to accept it. So yeah, DM me on Twitter, my dude. Yeah, all right. I missed the member chat. Yeah, sorry. But I'll take this moment as well, guys. Please do check out the link in the description box to Misstage Reviews live archives. Hit subscribe over there. The best bits of all the streams are over there. And they get sort of chopped up into pieces and stuff. So, you know, they're just separate little videos and stuff. So please do check that out. That's cool. Oh, he just said, look at this great crew. Oh, thank you very much. Do appreciate it, buddy. And your channel's blowing up, I see. So that's good. You're nailing it with those thumbnails, you see. It's the thumbnail game. I'm terrible with thumbnails, but
me too.
Never mind. Anyway, apologies for a bizarre start to the stream. I will try to iron that out. I know you guys like Paulie. If I can get him to come back and not have any of that nonsense again, then yeah, sure, absolutely. Sure, we'll get him back. But hopefully you guys can appreciate I am trying to create something with these streams. I want these to be professional. I want these to have a certain tone and be something which you can come back to and reliably watch. I don't want any of that nonsense. I'm not about it. I'm not about it, you know, at all. It's not what I want. So yeah. Anyway, Fat Steven does all your thumbnails, does he? I need to get him to do mine. Anyway, right. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gents. Give the video a like on your way out. But from me and everyone else, cheers, guys. Take care.
Peace out, guys.
See you.
Peace.